Hello and welcome to the Critically Clueless. I'm a monk, and today we are in Tainted Grail Conquest, and we are doing the very last class guide within this game. I may possibly be doing a playthrough as well, playing as my favourite class. So if you're interested in that and want to see that video, let me know down in the comments below. But this is a class guide for the Berserker. So if you are interested in knowing more about this class, it's kind of a beginner's guide. If you haven't used it before, then this video is definitely for you. And if you're interested in more Tainted Grail Conquest videos, then don't forget to hit that like button and of course subscribe to the channel, as we do actually have a few videos on this channel. We have a class guide for every single character. We also have a couple of tricks and tips and did you knows and a review as well. We also have an active and growing Discord, so if you want to jump in and chat about this game, this Discord is definitely for you, because we have a few people in there that do love this game. Anyway, let's talk about the Berserker. Now, the Berserker is actually a pretty interesting character. I think that the Berserker is my favourite of the melee class. There's three, and I had a lot of fun playing as the Berserker. However, it's kind of a high risk, high reward. I find that if you are up against a lot of people, it's potentially extremely problematic playing as the Berserker. And if you're up against just, one character with a lot of health, then yeah, I think you can pretty much do the bosses with this character relatively easy. I think in my previous playthrough playing as this character, I ended up with like 400 health, which is just an insane amount of health to have while playing this game. But hey ho, what you gonna do? I still didn't actually complete the playthrough though, even having, that incredible amount of health. So the Berserker kind of gets more powerful the more they get hit, and they have a card called Fortify that kind of helps with that as well. You gain 30 armor, but then you retaliate 5 damage for every hit that you get this turn. I quite like it. There's a couple of extra cards that you can get that help with this too. I find the Berserker's a little bit low on energy, which is a little bit of a shame, and you kind of have to manage your hits. You can get some serious high damage cards with this character though, so they're worth looking to get. You can also get some really good passives. I believe I got a passive in the last one that for every enemy I actually killed, I got 3 extra health to my base HP, which is huge. That's kind of how I ended up getting the 400 health, because I got it very early on in my playthrough, and it meant I managed to get a lot of health very quickly, which was quite nice. The Berserker also has a very good ultimate ability, and that every time I get hit, it gains a charge. When you use it, you get a percentage of the damage you deal to the enemies back as health. So you've got a really easy way to kind of get more health back in the middle of the fight as you just play. So I quite like the ability here. And the trick to the Berserker, I find, is managing your blocks, managing your stuns, and possibly having barrier, because sometimes you just don't want to get hit. Other times you want to get hit just to kind of charge up your ability. So let's go through. I find the best way to kind of play this game and kind of show you how to play each class is literally just by jumping into a game and taking it from there, kind of showing you what the game kind of throws at you. So that's what we're going to be doing. Take care of this enemy pretty quickly, and hopefully level up, and we can kind of move on, and I can show you a few of the passives. Now, as you see right now, the enemy wasn't attacking in the last 2 turns. Now it's about to attack, and now we have no blocks. So that's where managing your blocks, ensuring you have enough block cards in your deck, is going to be really important, because when you don't have those blocks and you're going to be getting that incoming attack, that's where the problems are going to be coming at you. I think that with the melee classes, managing your blocks become so much more important. Just managing your decks in general. You can't really afford to have too many random cards in your deck. So don't be afraid to not pick a card up if you don't like the cards that are being offered to you. I guess we could do 2 blocks on this occasion. There we go. So this battle's all done. We got our first level. Let's see what cards the game offers us. So we gain a block. Next turn, draw a card for an additional card. Or a reduced cost. Deep Breath is quite good, to be fair. This is a really good card. So, stun all enemies with negative armor or no armor. I quite like this one. I think a lot of the time you end up going against enemies that start with no armor, so you're able to get in those mass blocks. Like I said, having enough cards to actually stun your enemies or block incoming attacks are very, very useful. Therefore, I think out of these 3, I think Stunning Shout's actually a really good option. So we're going to grab that. We can also pick a passive, which is quite cool. Whenever you kill an enemy, gain 50 armor and 1 energy this turn. I quite like Corpse Shield. Each combat, the damage received the first is, again, I quite like this one too, because Calm Mind enables you to kind of take those first 4 hits, and that will, because it's going to be reduced to 1 damage regardless of what it is. So if you're going up against a singular big enemy, you've kind of got 4 turns to kind of chill and to build up your damage. Or if you're going up against a lot of enemies, then you can kind of take those hits and it will charge up your ability. So either one of these 2, I really do actually quite like. I think we're going to go for Calm Mind. I've had it save me quite a few times. There we go. Let's go find ourselves another enemy to fight. Let's go over here. There we go, 3 enemies, and that's where this character, the Berserker, could potentially falter right at the beginning of the game, because managing those hits, having enough blocks and stuns can be, really, really tricky, especially early game when you don't necessarily have the right cards. We do also have kind of unique cards to this character. We can see right here, the damage gets increased by 20% for every 10% of your health missing. These cards are unique to the Berserker. So basically meaning the more damage you have taken, the more powerful these cards potentially are. As we're up against 3 enemies and we're definitely going to get incoming attacks, Fortify is going to be something I'm going to be looking for to use. But remember, we just got the passive, so the first 4 hits received, we get almost no damage given to us, which is quite nice. Let's focus on this guy in the middle real quick, dealing out as much damage as we can. And now he's got a ×3, so we are going to stun him. Stun all enemies. We should have used this one. This stuns everybody. And now we use our bigger attacks once again. We still haven't received all of the first initial attacks, so all their damage is still down to 1. It is so useful, honestly, having that passive. Don't forget, it's not turns, it's per attack. That's a bit of a random, and we'll go for Fortify as well. There we go. Everyone got their proper damage multiplier now. And you can see that we're up to 5 charges with our ultimate ability. Now that's going to restore, it says there, 25% of any damage that we deal. So if we was to use that right now, it's not necessarily the right time to use it, but if we do use that right now, you can see that we kind of, ability is activated, and now any damage that we happen to deal restores some of our health. And it even works when you fortify, because your turn's not technically over until you get back control. The ability was still charged, so any of that kind of fortifying damage that we do then also gave us a little bit of health. You can also get runes that will also attack every turn, which I find to be really useful. Especially playing as the Berserker, just dealing out that extra damage. I think that when you're playing as them, anything that can kind of boost up your basic damage, again, is very, very useful. Because obviously all your multipliers, any damage multipliers or anything, that's all coming off your base damage anyway. So I think base damage increases and enhancements are so important for when playing as any of the 3 melee characters. We get to choose another card as well. Let's see what we got. Deal 1 hit for 300 damage to all enemies, offering 5 HP. Bloody Frenzy is very, very good, especially if you use that with your ultimate ability. Have that charged up to 100%. You can get some serious health back for that while dealing a lot of damage. Dealing 2 hits for 50% damage to all enemies. I don't really like that one. Deal 1 hit for 75 damage. Again, not a fan of that either. Bloody Frenzy is extremely good. Let's actually have a reroll just so we can show you some more card types. Gain 50 armor. Armor's very good as well. This is one of those cards that actually upgrade, so I quite like that. And reduce enemy cost of 3 cards in a hand by 1. Not so much of a fan of that because you're spending 2 energy to even get that card out in the first place. I guess we get this one. But Bloody Frenzy would have been the card that out of all 5 of those cards, Bloody Frenzy would have been the card that I picked had I picked one. Let's go again. Do another battle. Only 2 enemies this time. Stun everyone with 0 armor or negative armor. Comes in really handy this time, as we can stun both of them. We deal basic attacks, and then skip our turn. And again, we're not under the 25 max health, therefore this card isn't going to upgrade. But getting this upgraded as early as possible, as early as you're willing to, do, definitely try that, because you can upgrade these cards really, really well. Let's quickly put on a couple of blocks, just because I don't want their 1 damages to increase just yet. Because they still haven't hit me, therefore they're still dealing out that 1 damage. And now we'll put on another block again. Like I said, that passive that we picked up right at the beginning to ensure they do 1 damage for the first 4 attacks is very, very helpful. And we'll stun everyone again. and deal out some more damage. I think out of the 3 melee characters, I personally found the Berserker the easiest out of the 3, just simply because you have more chances to manage the enemies. I think the passives are especially strong, and I just love just how much health you can actually get with this character. There we go. Look at that. Still got no damage done to us at all. Lovely jubbly. And I think we'll try one more fight. Try one more fight and call it there. I think we've kind of covered everything. Let's try this guy. There we go. This should be a little bit harder just because it's going to be a longer battle. Again, we can stun everyone with no armor or negative armor. That's only going to stun the 2. And then we can deal out the damage to this guy in the middle. Do out the 3, and I think we're going to remember to fortify on this occasion. I do like that fortify card. There is also a couple of extra cards you can get that work really well with fortify, so look out for them. Unfortunately, we haven't had them pop up just yet. Gain 1 stun and go back to fortify again. Stun everyone and go for that attack on that middle. Oh, didn't mean to do that one. That was a misstep. But yeah, it's been nice and easy so far. I think we've had quite an easy run actually. The first 20 minutes in and getting some nice easy battles. I do think the passives in the Berserker are probably the strongest out of any of the melee characters. Like I said, I think the Berserker is definitely my favorite out of everyone that I've used so far in the melee class. Anyway, still think the Summoner's the absolute best class in the game. I think the Berserker's a lot of fun just for having such a mad amount of health. There are some really strong cards that you can get some crazy damage dealings. Managed to get everyone to be stunned, which is cool. Oh, that's been boosted, which is a bit of a shame. We're going to go for a fortify. Start actually taking some damage now, I think. There we go. And as you can see, our charge meter's going up as well for our special. About to take another couple of hits. We're stunned. We don't need that. And do a quicker couple of attacks. Actually managing to time this with the getting your ultimate ability to charge to 100% while having a good amount of attack cards can be really useful as well, especially when you're on low health. But it's kind of one of those characters where everything has to align for it to be its absolute strongest potential. Unfortunately, there are occasions where you kind of need that health. Maybe you've taken the wrong gamble, taken far too many hits, and you're just not able to recover the health that you needed. Unfortunately, it's kind of the luck of how you're actually building your deck. I think a couple more hits though, and we are going to be nicely done. 2 more characters left, and we're 3 hits away from actually having a maxed out charge. We could stun everyone, I guess. Take no damage at all. I actually happen to have the wooden flute with the creating a barrier, the 20 barrier. I do think the barrier card is still very useful. Of course, when you do have barrier, any hits taken means we're not actually boosting our special ability. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I don't think... Are we going to get... I think this is going to be very easy, to be fair. So I think I'm going to end this video here, guys. This is kind of actually a bit of a basic fight. Not very hard. It's just taking a little minute. But I hope you guys have found this video useful or entertaining. If you have, don't forget to hit that like button and of course subscribe to the channel. Don't forget we do have that Discord. The link for that will be down in the description. And thank you for joining me on yet another class guide, guys. If you want to see anything else on Tainted Grail, let me know down in the comments. I'll do my very best to either reply to you, make the video, or of course just answer your questions depending on what you pop down there. But guys, I've been a monk, we've been a Critically Clueless, and I'll see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy, and of course, happy gaming.